Hi guys, we're back here now with another video. I'm here now in the shipping and receiving department of Smooth and Outdoors. We just received a couple shipments of some fire starters that I want to do some testing on. These are things that I've never tried before. They're brand new to me. I've seen some of them before on, have been experimented before. But they're all brand new to me, so this is kind of a bit of an unboxing for all of these things. I'm going to take them out into the one of the laboratories in the research and development department here at Smooth and Outdoors, and we'll spark them up, do some time tests, do some ignitability, see how easy they take a spark, see how easy they take a light, and we'll try a couple different things. I was watching the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel a couple days ago, and he featured this product, Zips. He didn't do a big in-depth review. In that particular video, he tested maybe 50 different fire starters, everything from commercial bought fire starters, gas, lamp oil, potato chips, cheesies, cookies, Oreo cookies. He tried all kinds of things, some crazy different things. But he was a little bit impressed by this, and from what I saw in the video, I was as well. And so I thought I'd try them. They come in this, there's 14 in a box, as you can see. They come in this individually wrapped wrapper, and I can tell that they're airtight, which means that they're also waterproof. Now, from his video, he showed that these things are so light that they'll actually float in water. There's nothing, this thing weighs nothing. And the instructions on the box simply say to light the wrapper, just light the wrapper and it'll burn. So I'm gonna test that. I'm gonna do a time test of just lighting the wrapper. And I wanna break one of these things up to see if we can light it with a ferro rod, and maybe if we can light it with a flint and steel. See just how flammable one of these things is. So I want to do a couple of tests, some time tests, and see just how well this stuff burns. So that's going to be one of our tests. So I've got one of these zip little pouches out here. Like I said, these things are airtight, so I would suspect that they'd also be waterproof. Like I said, originally I saw these things on the Outdoor Boys channel. I think but the video was about a year old. I just saw it, but then a couple of days ago I saw Blackie Thomas just did a quick video on one of these things as well, just about a couple of days ago, so you can check out both of those. I'm going to drop this in here, and it does float, so we'll give that a shot. And I'm also going to weigh it down, so that zip thing is now completely submerged underwater, and let's leave it there for a while and see if we can still spark it up when it's wet. And then at Dollarama, we picked up a couple other different things. I love Dollarama for some cheap, simple camping things. Like we get different kinds of fire starters at Dollarama. You can get some really cheap glow sticks at Dollarama. You can get really cheap baking trays at Dollarama for baking muffins and those kinds of things. Dollarama is just a great place to get really cheap camping equipment. Well, we found one of these. It's a mini log. Again, it's just light the wrapper. It says right here, light here, light here. And it's supposed to burn for about 20 minutes. So I just want to see, obviously it's much bigger. It's heavier. I don't have the exact price on this, but I'd say it's not much more than $2. Back to these, there's 14 in a box, and they were about $8. Again, so relatively cheap. We also found this. Again, this is, we've seen these things have been around for years. Again, it's a $1.25. There's 12 pieces in here, and the instructions to say use 3 or 4 to light a fire or a barbecue. And again, this is just wood fibers and wax. So this is nothing really that we can't make on our own. Typically my issue with using these kinds of things is just getting them going. I've tried breaking them up in really small places and in really small pieces, but without having that fiber to really catch a flame, sometimes I've struggled to get these things going. Not the kind of thing, I don't think this is the kind of thing that we're gonna have success getting to light with just a ferro rod, but we'll try it. Again, we'll light a couple of these things, we'll do a test, do it with a ferro rod, do it with a flint and steel, and do it with a lighter and see how they fare. But again, $1.50 for 12 pieces is not bad. And then the last thing we're going to test out then is this fat wood. It says on the package, 2 sticks starts a fire, and there are 4 sticks in here. And again, this is probably $1.50 or $2 or so. Fat wood, if you don't know what fat wood is the resin-packed pine tree. So you see it has this red tint to it. That's all the resin that soaks into a pine. Usually you'll find it in a stump. Sometimes you'll find it in the crook of where a branch meets the tree. But the thing around here in my neck of the woods, we just don't have native pine here. You'll see some pines around town that have been, I think they're Scots pines that have been brought in and they're planted. But really in our neck of the woods, it's mostly firs, spruce, and a little bit of birch. Not enough pine. We don't have any pine in our woods. Spruce does congeal in and has a sapwood a similar way, but nowhere near the kind of potency that pine does. So to pick up this kind of stuff at $1 is a great find. Like I said, because it's just not something that I can get naturally off the landscape here in my neck of the woods. All right, welcome back, guys. So we're out here now in the laboratory in one of the research development departments at Smooth Outdoors. And we're going to test some of the things that we have here, some of these commercially bought fire starters. So over here we have a pile of fat wood. Now the fat wood here says 2 sticks starts a fire. So this down here is exactly 2 sticks worth. So let's see how long that burns. I want to test all of these to see if I can light them with a ferro rod first. And then I want to see if the ferro rod doesn't work, then we'll just try a lighter. I don't think any of this will take a spark from just flint and steel, but I do want to try these. Let's see if I can spark up this, if I can crush it down into a powder. This may take a spark, but we'll try this one. The rest of the stuff I know is not going to take a spark with just a, I don't think we'll take a spark with just a ferro rod. The one that we put in water has now been underwater, submerged for about 48 hours. So let's take this one out. We'll get it dried off. It's still floating. It's still holding air. So let's see if, I don't think it got damp because it's still airtight. So let's see, now we'll take that one out and see if we can light it up in the package. I'll take another one then and I'll break it up and see if we can take it with a spark. But the instructions for these say simply light the wrapper. Same thing with this. This is just light the wrapper. These we have to break up in little pieces. I'm going to start with the let's start with the fat wood. Here you go. Takes a spark, so obviously it'll take a match. Oh, I do have a fire extinguisher here as well, just in case I need one. And I'll open the shed door. So obviously 2 sticks burns hot. Lots of black smoke. The instructions on this package say light here and light here. So you know how much I like to follow the instructions. Here you go, both ends lit. Now I can tell right away that this one is not burning as aggressively as what this one did. Let's see if it's going to roar to life. This one is the wood fiber and wax. Oh, prove me wrong. Okay. This is why we do the experiments. Caught up second strike and lit up faster than I thought she would. Yep. Lit up much faster than I thought she would. Okay. This one is supposed to last 20 minutes. See what it looks like. So here is our wet zips. Give it a wipe in my shirt just to get the water off. So it took a sec, but there she goes. So this one here is brand new right out of the package. It's this one I can tell it's got it is under pressure, so it is sealed. I want to bust this one up and see if I can get it to take a spark. This, you can smell the maybe diesel or you can definitely smell a petroleum product on this one. It stinks compared to some of the other ones. Definitely, it reeks of petroleum. It's a little bit brittle. I'm not optimistic about flint and steel. But let's give it a shot. I've hit it a couple times. Let's try ferro rod. No problem igniting with a ferro rod. And it ignited faster when it was broken into a powder than it did when it's a single block. This is going to burn out a hell of a lot faster than that did. what happens when we get it wet. So once it's wet, not much chance of getting it lit again. Little flame there for a second. You can see these bricks come in, I think there was 4 bricks attached together. I broke one up to take a spark. I'm just curious to see what it would light if I didn't break it up. Yep, no problem. This is another piece of commercially available fat wood. In comparison, this one originally was about the same length, and I've cut it in half and consumed much of it. But it is significantly bigger in this dimension. This one is probably is a little more red as well, and a nicer quality, more resinous. But I probably paid maybe $20 for a pack of 4 or 5, whereas this one here for the pack of 4 was only $1.25. So I keep this piece in my haversack, just in case, like I said, I ever need to shave down a little bit. So with the exception of this one over here, it looks like these are done. It didn't burn all the way through, so I can get it to ignite again. But left on its own, it went out. This one over here is pretty much gone. If I were to break this up, I could probably get it to burn even longer. So this one over here was supposed to have a burn time of about 20 minutes. Right now we're about 34 minutes into the camera, into the video. I didn't start it right away, but we're definitely past the 20-minute mark on the burn time for this one. It was fairly big. It was about this big when it started, so it's not the kind of thing you want to carry a dozen of, just because they're a little bit bulky. But if you really need that burn time, you'll definitely get it with this. These little zips didn't burn anywhere near as the length of that, but given the size of this versus that, I'm still impressed with this. I'll be a little bit leery about carrying that in my bag just as it is, but maybe throw one in my fire kit or inside of a tin can where it's protected. Might be easy to carry. They are a little bit brittle, and I'm afraid if you squat it and the bag opens up, you could end up with a mess. Well, thanks guys for sticking with me during this experimentation. If you like this video and videos like this, please subscribe to our channel, like, share, and comment. Okay, so welcome back from our burn test. Just want a quick summary before I end the video. The video's getting a little bit long. I'm really impressed with these fire starters. So this is the wood, fiber, and wax. It's $1.25. I can easily crack off if you just had one piece of this inside your emergency kit. You know, it had a really good long burn time. It took a spark, it took a flame, lit up really easy to carry. Don't gotta worry about it getting damaged, or it's not brittle like this is. I think for $1.25 and you get 12 pieces, to me this is ideal. I paid about let's say I paid $7 maybe, or a little bit more, for a pack of 14 of the zips, which makes them about 50 cents a piece. I can't find these locally. I haven't looked that hard, but these come from Amazon, which is, so I got to pay shipping and other expenses on top of that. So it's just, again, not quite as convenient. They weren't as durable as these were. I wasn't as impressed with these as I thought I would be. They had a shorter burn time. Like I said, not quite as impressed as I thought I was going to be with these. This fire starter I was impressed with. It had the longest burn time, but it is the bulkiest of the bunch. This one was $1.25. This one was only $1. So, you know, if you really got to get that flame and you know everything is wet and soaking, this I'm sure would get you could almost boil water on this all by itself. But at $1 for a Surefire, it's really hard to beat, except for the size of it. I'm assuming you could probably cut this package in open and take it apart. It's just, that's not how it's packaged, whereas these are supposed to be broken apart. I don't have the fat wood here with me now. Fat was a great resource, just unfortunately it's not readily available naturally in my environment. Like I said, we don't have a lot of pine here. Everything here is spruce and fir, so I can buy fat wood, but it's pretty expensive in comparison to something like this. So I've bought a bunch more of these at the local dollar store, like I said, for $1 and $1.25. It's definitely worth it. I bought a bunch more of these, and I'm definitely going to try out more of these. I've got some plans to try these maybe in a rocket stove or a Swedish torch, a couple different things, and see how. I'll start carrying some of these in my pack just to test them and see how they make out. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys.